Hello and welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, the show where you just watch the Honest Trailer and you're still bored, so you watch this one. We're going to talk about what you just watched, hopefully, and then if you stick around to the end, get a few outtakes, a few cut jokes, a few things that didn't make it in. I'm Spencer J. Gilbert. That's Joe Starr. That's Dan Murrel.
Hi.
The Incredibles.
We watched it.
We watched it. We made an Honest Trailer because that's what we do here, and yet, not much to say about this movie, as you may have noticed. It's a good movie.
It's a very
good movie. We all enjoy it. See you next week. All right, guys, seriously, what was it like to watch Incredibles? I was stumped after watching this the first time. Like, this is good. I like it.
It's a really solid movie. It's the paradox of working on honest trailers a lot of times, which is that the movies that the people want the most are often also the movies that are good, which makes them hard to do honest trailers on, but also
and I'll add to that,
make the honest trailers good.
Even hard. Well, I feel like The Godfather is easier than Pixar movies. Pixar movies to me are the ultimate in difficulty because even the nitpicks are excused by the fact that it's animated, like the things that don't kind of continuity errors, things that don't make sense. You're in a fantasy world already, so it seems stupid to just gang up on it for that.
Oh, that guy can fly just completely. Yes, he can.
Right. Yeah, it's a made up kids world. And the fact that like they're almost like parables, and they're just these Pixar movies are just stories told in service of a message or of a moral and stuff like that. So they're just so. What are you gonna do?
And
like
this one
shit on the power of friendship and family?
Exactly. This one doesn't even have that old crutch of how does it even work? Which, if you look back at other Pixar movies, we did with Toy Story and with Cars and with Inside Out, because at least it had a premise where we could go at least like, but how would that really work?
Yeah.
Because but
what does
even
a
this
car's
is just
spleen
like,
look like?
Yeah.
Tell me. Yeah.
Did the toy? Whatever. Who cares? But it's just something to do. And this one even was just like
something to do.
Something to do. This one even still is just like okay.
Yeah.
I don't even. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I hope people enjoyed the trailer, or maybe they just watched it because they love the movie.
I had forgotten how good it is. Like, because I hadn't watched it, I don't think, since it probably came out on DVD. And I remember the talking point of this is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. But I think even after now we've seen 246 MCU films, a lot of DC movies. I still think this is arguably top 5, top 3. It's a really good movie.
I mean, it really gets to the heart, and by being just kind of this kind of tasty goulash of all other superhero worlds, and also of like seems like British mod spy culture,
kind of James Bondy 60s, which I like.
It kind of gets to pick and choose the best of all, and get at the core of superhero entertainment, which is that some people are just better than us, and we need to just get in line and accept that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You tell me that every day, Spencer, and it's still not. It's still hard to accept.
Some people are just born with special abilities, and they are held back by bureaucracy. I don't follow your rules.
Check out Spencer's new podcast, Spencer Shrugged.
Yeah, Spencer Shrugged. I'm 16, and it's the first book I ever read. Anyways, why don't we talk about the actual movie on our honest trailer for The Incredibles?
If you like well-written animated films with heart, humor, and great action, actually scratch that. If you are currently or have ever been alive, then you probably love The Incredibles.
Pause. Do you know any contrarians who are like, worst movie ever?
I'm sure they're out there.
I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some.
Are you a contrarian? Chime in the comments below.
I wonder if any notable critics gave Incredible. I'm gonna while we're doing this, I'm gonna look at the reviews and see if there were
who went rotten.
Oh, what's that?
What's
that one crazy guy that always goes contrarian?
Armand
Armand.
White.
Yeah,
Armand White.
I bet Armand White didn't like it.
Yeah, he's got
JT.
some interesting thoughts on things. All right, we keep going. I'm just gonna look this up while.
Experience a film that's got a little bit of everything. From Silver Age comic book heroes to a dark snapshot of a dying marriage, slick retro James Bond style to a portrait of a midlife crisis, the warm glow of familial love to the soul-crushing modern-day workplace. Once again, you'll pay Pixar to yank your heart around like an emotional yo-yo.
Pause. I think that Mr. and Mrs. Incredible have a terrible marriage. And
It's
I
really
don't think
bad.
that it was ever good.
Well,
If you follow, unless it's well, obviously off camera, who knows? But when they meet, they're like sparring. It's kind of like a war of words. They are bickering in every single scene except for the ones where he's lying to her,
Including in the altar.
including
At the altar, they're like working out the details of like, if this is gonna work, you've got to like, you need to have that conversation before.
Yeah.
You can't have that conversation now.
You can't pop that there after you've popped the other question. They are always at each other's throats. It's just a bad mix, except like they're both super.
Well, it's
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking. I think at the beginning,
All things considered,
it's a cool look at because at the beginning it's definitely like flirty honeymoon phase where they're still Batman and Catwoman licking each other on rooftops, and we don't see the like any of the in between. We just see, hey, it's the fun, sexy beginning,
And then it's the fun, sexy marriage. Like it goes bam right to the
Bam.
altar.
Well, yeah, and then we go straight to worst possible timeline where full midlife crisis. Like I just want to start punching people again, and so we don't see any of that middle. But I think it's cool storytelling that they get to skip by not having like an IP they're attached to, by being able to start their story in the middle, if that makes sense. Like there's not an Incredibles where it's like, oh, they're getting together and they got married, because who cares? Like it's more interesting that they get to start their Fantastic Four. We've been the Fantastic Four for 15 years, and it's really started to put some strain on Sue and Reed's relationship.
Well, I think that Fantastic Four gets thrown around a lot, but this has way more Watchmen parallels to me.
Oh,
than
no, you're right.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
yeah,
It
This
does. It's very much like
world where superheroes have been outlawed. They're all miserable. It's grounding superheroes down in like real life issues.
yeah.
They kill a lot of people.
They really do. The murder. You could tell this is early Pixar because the murder quotient in this movie is extremely
Real
high.
often, yeah.
You've seen the second one. How do they add to their body count?
They blunt the edges way more than they had in this movie.
okay.
Like,
Interesting.
I think people still bite it, but not necessarily like in the way of like those dudes in the flying saucers just going like, ah!
Yeah,
I mean, there's no ambiguity. They're just dead.
on the rewatch, I stopped and I was like, where are the parachutes? Like, where is the last second G.I. Joe, like, boom,
And look,
Cobra
I know
retreat.
that they're working for a evil killer robot company, but so was Mr. Incredible. He also worked there,
Yes,
so
he
the
did.
moral equivalence is
Yeah.
they all took the
saying.
job.
What
Yeah.
did he contribute to this factor
Yeah.
of things? Sorry, I found a few things that I'm going to bring up later.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Well, in the meantime, let's keep watching.
Meet the Parrs, an incredibly dysfunctional family. Violet is neglected. Dash is hurting people for fun. Bob is sneaking around behind his wife's back, and Helen's in denial about his obvious lies.
Have a great trip.
Thanks, sweetie.
They've got more issues than a comic book shop, and the only way to resolve them is to put on spandex and beat the crap out of some robots together.
I love you.
Enter a world where the
Adrenaline
government
junkies,
has banned
clearly.
superheroes for fairly obvious reasons.
You knocked down a building?
Now, Bob will have to adjust to not being able to punch people for a living until he leaps in an opportunity to work for a killer robot company with a volcano lair.
I'm in.
Dude, you were a hero for like decades, and you didn't see any red flags here? I'm starting to think this guy just wants to hurt people with no consequences. Hey, heroes don't do that, unless you're Batman. Batman totally does that. Cower before
The
one of
best
the
ever.
best
Oh, yeah.
supervillains of all time, Syndrome. A perfect prediction of today's entitled fan culture. He's a
Okay.
nerd who loves something so
Yes,
much
Dan?
that when it didn't live up to his expectations,
You're not affiliated with me.
he declared war on it. And now,
Pause. All right. So
The comments probably won't talk about this much.
the three of us are talking today about the situational potential irony of this because we record these before the trailer goes public. Of our referring to a fan, people declaring war on something that they used to love. How this might blow back on us for calling out fans for calling out things that they used to love.
Oh,
and
we're
declare.
going like 4 levels deep here.
Yeah. We're deep in the dream.
Yeah, but we're praising Syndrome. We're praising the movie for creating Syndrome, for calling out entitled fan culture, which reflects today's entitled fan culture, who
Yes.
we're calling out who will then call out us in an
Yes.
entitled fan way.
I wish I had a coin to spin.
I know, right? Am I awake or am I dreaming? What
Yeah,
we're saying is that Syndrome would be very active on many internet sites if he were a
everyone's
child today.
become Syndrome. I mean, the world is Syndrome now.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's great that it's Jason Lee too, because it's like Darkest Timeline Brody from Mallrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
used to love
the
comic
angriest
books.
comic book nerd who used
Yep.
to love them and is now just resentful. Yeah, I think they kind of nailed it.
Yeah. It is a weird, because it's been a while since I revisited this movie. Seeing Syndrome and then just kind of the thing, just like, I love you. And he's like, no, please, not now. And the way that he kind of says, okay, well then, if everyone's super, then you're not anymore. And then just the whole way of just this extravagant revenge scheme. It's like, this is kind of prescient to what was
but I think
later happening.
Unrealistically, they made Syndrome good at doing things, which I think in real life is more like he would have stayed just ranting against Mr.
Yes,
Incredible
he would
on
have.
the internet.
But there was no internet, so
yes.
he
Oh,
became an
there you go.
actual supervillain.
You know who else did this not nearly as well was Kill something, Iron Man 3?
Grave Monger.
Killian.
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 Yeah.
Was the snubbed guy at the beginning of that one that
He was.
went on to invent the Mandarin, I guess.
A lot of superhero movies have taken like pieces from Incredibles. Like First Class took the setting and like sort of visual style. They
Well,
took.
to be fair, the
Iron Man 3
'60s
took the
actually
villain.
happened.
And the
They
X-Men
did.
were in the 60s.
Yes. But just, I could see someone being like, hey, Pixar made that look really cool. Do the thing. Yeah, a lot of movies have snagged from Pixar.
I think this one was more of an homage. I think.
Yeah.
don't
I
wanna
would
call
say
you
this
out, Joe.
stole
I think
stuff
it's the
from
other way
X-Men.
around.
Yeah.
It's something to say. All right, let's keep.
I said a sentence.
I declare war on you, Joe.
Yeah, I'm signing a change.org petition. Show Joe he was wrong in that anecdote.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the comments that will sign that.
We, the undersigned, demand that Screen Junkies acknowledge the shaky ground on the metaphor that Joe Starr brought up in
Remake the
episode
honest trailer commentary for The
427
Incredibles
of
without the part where
Incredibles.
Joe says that they took the other thing from The Incredibles because it's the other way around.
We've
Yeah.
had enough of these sloppy analogies, and we will boycott honest trailers until the company acknowledges the sloppy workmanship of those.
The
under which
idea-
It's not canon.
that other
It's
studios-
SJUWUWQBR
SJUWBWQBR
analogies. Rian Johnson.
Aaron Rand and Rayon Johnson
Raylo.
All right.
shrugged.
And now, only
Raylo
the Incredibles
shrugged.
can stop
Good-
him
good
from
call, JT.
letting me buy rocket
tired.
boots?
I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes.
Well, that's just great. Now how am I supposed to become a hero? Toxic waste-covered reptiles aren't cheap, you know. Enjoy the best Fantastic Four movie never made that fixes all the flaws from those awful, awful films, having its four heroes feel like a real family, not treating their powers like a joke, and making it so Mr. Fantastic is married to the Thing, which is way hotter. I mean, better. I mean, damn it, they're just both so thick. So cheer
Pause.
up,
There's another, when we were looking at dumb change.org petitions, one was a petition to be able to marry cartoon characters. To change.org, let me marry a cartoon. So
How many
Who they wanna
supporters
marry?
did that one have?
I don't remember, but and I don't remember who exactly they want to marry. I think it was just like, legalizing the idea of
If that one went through, who would you marry?
the Space Jam.
Lola Bunny.
No, I was gonna say Daffy Duck.
Oh, Daffy.
Space
Okay,
Jam.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I
Anyway.
can see that. You guys would do really well together.
yeah. Got a lot of attitude.
You
Yeah.
gotta wonder if the person that invented change.org sees what it's become now and is like, oh my God, what have I done?
Let me do Daffy Duck when he dresses up like a girl bunny, or whatever.
Spencer season.
Yeah.
Keep playing.
So cheer up, Logan, and turn that frown upside down, Rorschach, because The Incredibles proves you don't have to be R-rated to be a violent, angsty
Everybody
superhero
laugh.
movie. With a super high body count, attempted suicide, heroes threatening to murder innocent people,
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
grown men shooting at little kids, and little kids killing grown men. You wonder what made Brad Bird fly into a homicidal rage between the Iron Giant and this movie.
Not exactly a pacifist
Probably
anymore.
box office.
Money, 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 money.
Starring Hunk Hill, Stretch
This
Armstrong,
is like our most punny
Nick
starring
Fleury,
ever.
Boney
Maybe.
Stark,
Wow, these
Dick
are
Silver.
all puns.
Violet, you're turning Violet, Violet. The Epcot Center. Grown Up Stewie. Do you find something comical about my appearance while I'm driving my
reference.
automobile?
Simpsons.
Senator Bibbins! This is Fantastic 40. So, that old cape rant that Edna goes on?
No capes.
Were those her designs that got all those heroes killed before she learned her lesson? Because, whew, that's dark.
Poor Ed.
That's 4 dead superheroes on her costume design.
Yep.
Think you would have learned
before
after
she got
2?
it together.
Maybe 3?
Did she design Syndrome's costume?
It had a cape.
Right. Did he? Well, she wouldn't work for Syndrome.
We don't know much about her, man.
Yeah, she does seem into like.
She did make a super suit for a baby.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Just in case we put your baby in a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
I hear the baby's the best part of the sequel.
He is indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice to hear. I was worried that he would be like a Great Gazoo kind of like situation.
Yeah. Not in a cheap way, like, oh, the baby's the best part. Like, no, it's actually the best part of the movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
It's a good
cool.
movie, and the baby is the best part of it.
Cool.
Sweet.
So there you go. Jack.
Jack. Let's watch some deleted scenes.
Yes.
They've got more issues than a comic book shop, and the only way to resolve them is to put on spandex and beat the crap out of some robots together.
I love you.
And these kids get off easy. My dad would put me in spandex and beat me with a Roomba.
Pause.
Wow.
I don't know. What? Yeah, the reading's a little muddled, and also it's just so weird. It's
very strange.
But it adds to the mythos of John's messed up life. Epic voice guy's messed
I guess that was after he
That's
stumbled
life.
into
His
the
parents'
red room.
Yeah.
Red Room of Pain. And
Roomba
then-
happened immediately after that.
Yeah, actually that does fit the mythos because his dad made him wear spandex and then beat him with a Roomba.
Yeah.
It's just too dark and weird.
too dark, yeah.
But
But is that canon? If it was deleted, is it canon?
not canon. No deleted scenes are canon.
Okay.
But in my head canon. That's where he's coming from.
I'm starting to think this guy just
Slash
wants to
fake.
hurt people with no consequences. Yeesh, just quit and poop in the water cooler like a normal person, you maniac. Starring
Yeah, another epic voice guy window into his thought processes.
Pooping into the water
Pooping
cooler.
in the water cooler would be what
That
a
would be
normal
so
person does
hard.
on the way out.
You'd have to take the
That's a lot
tank
of
off
steps.
without spilling anything.
Yeah, but once I
and
was
turn it over, and that hole is not. But depending on the
that's
bottle,
an easy hole and a
But
big
then-
what are those things called? Sparklets bottle.
But wouldn't it just go down into the reservoir, and then no one would know? Is it a subtle?
Well, I imagine
may have
that
put
you
too much
poop-
thought
you,
into
you
this.
emptied it out, you'd poop in it, then you'd fill it back up,
Uh-huh.
and it'd be like a fishbowl, like a brown fish, not
Fair
a
enough.
goldfish.
All right.
Okay. Urban Dictionary.
Stretch
Yeah.
Armstrong. Triangle Man, Triangle
Those
Man.
are the cut ones.
You f***ers think just because a guy reads comics he can't start some
Mallrats
shit?
quote.
Shouldn't have named him Dash if you didn't want him to go fast.
True.
The perks of being a wallflower. Shrinking Violet. Not an invisible girl, not yet an invisible woman. And
Spears.
the Iron Giant. Watchmen for kids.
And that's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do we want to hear the people that panned?
Yes,
There are not
let's-
many. There's
yeah.
like 12 of them. Jimmy O from Film Snobs.
Oh, Jimmy.
From Film Snobs.
An unfortunate use of Pixar magic to tell a tired story in a typical world, which back in 2004 I think is
Yeah.
that's a little harsh.
I feel like that's a retro review where they go back.
Thomas DeLappa from Boulder Weekly said it's a cyber equivalent of eye candy that's also loaded with empty calories. So not impressed.
Wow.
Jeremy Heilman from MovieMartyr.com, which already
I like Film Snob and Movie Martyr both hated them.
15 out of 100. This
Wow.
score. Since it's too much a crowd pleaser to be critical of the violent payoff that it delivers, it's tough not to take its apparent message seriously.
That
What?
was word soup right there.
All right. Sean O'Connell from Eclipse Magazine, B-. So this is borderline.
Rotten. That's
Probably not the most original thought that's ever crossed their collective minds. So standard issue superhero adventure. So I don't know about
But
that.
that didn't exist yet.
That's true. There was
Well-
like 4 superhero movies.
yeah.
Bird and the Pixar whizzes do what they do excellently. You just wish they were doing something else. That's Eleanor Ringel Cater from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Eleanor Ringel.
Ringel Cater.
Ringle.
Cater.
Now this is when Frederick and Marianne Broussard from Spirituality and Practice. The Incredibles promotes a new moral slogan for our times. The family that fights evildoers together stays together. 2 out of 5.
That was just a description.
Yeah, it was.
I want to do a show where we just read reviews from them.
Yeah. From Spirituality and Practice.
Yeah, I was going to say a show where we review Spirituality and Practice.
Oh, maybe that's
I
new.
do a seance.
And then the Village Voice says, overcrowded Hollywood eardrum bashing, metal crunching, action sludge. Strangely enough, the most this shouldn't be surprising. The most heartless, the audience score, which is only 75%. So,
Wow.
1/4 of the audience that voted, apparently not fans of The Incredibles.
Surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. 75% audience score for The Incredibles.
I mean, we joke about it in the beginning. Maybe it's just the circle we hang out in, but I feel like this is universally loved.
Are we in a bubble?
Not amongst the
Oh, no.
audience.
We're in a liberal bubble.
Oh boy, an incredible bubble.
Help! Anyways.
So we have when we have nothing to say about movies. We just read reviews.
Yeah. Read other people's
Online.
reviews.
Good
Yeah.
movie. I am
man.
surprised.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, let's get back to our latte sipping, Prius driving bubble, and hope you'll join us here next week when we talk about what are we doing?
Third time is not the charm.
Not at all.
No.
Nope.
But you'll find out if you stick around next week right here on Honest Trailer Commentaries.